Hey everybody, it's Big J here at All Sports Related, and today I have a pretty good episode for you. I'll be joined by a young gentleman who's very knowledgeable in the sport of football. He played for a local high school here. I'll let him tell you more about that, and he also coached at the collegiate level at a couple of different locations, a couple of different spots, and now he's an assistant coach doing his thing, and also in the community. He's community based, and he's doing a lot. But first, I'm going to talk about my sponsors. People of Color Beauty. It's a nail polish company located in Los Angeles, ran by and owned and founded by a young lady by the name of Jackie Carrington. If you watched any of my episodes earlier, I used her as a sponsor and also a couple other people. But she happens to be a relative of mine, it's my younger cousin, and she was so grateful back in November to take me on. So, and I appreciate her. But check out her products, man. You can go to her website, peopleofcolorbeauty.com. She's also on Amazon. She has products on Amazon. A lot of it's based in the western part of the country, but we're trying to move her into the Midwest and also the East Coast. So, but she's doing really good. African American owned. The other organization I'd like to shout out to is an organization that's been working with me just as of late, Village of KC. A lot of people are knowledgeable with that. It's a community-based program for young people. They have after-school programs. Basically, they bring in different types of programming from art, crafts, financial literacy, things of that nature. And also, they're going to be assisting my guest with his community-based football camp coming up later on this month on June 28th. So, but we're going to get started here. I have Jerry McNeil with me. Jerry McNeil is basically assistant coach right now with the University Academy, Kaufman Academy Co-op. Those are not familiar with co-ops, it's two different high schools combining together, combining rosters and forming one team. And they wear the University Academy colors, but it's a co-op. So there's Kaufman players on that team too, in the same academic requirements and things that are expected from both schools. So it's a great marriage. I think it is because they're both academically based, and it's been working. I think it's been in existence. I want to say, 3 years, 4 years, Jerry? 4 years.
Cool.
So prior to that, I coached the University Academy, and there wasn't a co-op at the time. Kaufman didn't exist, but they wanted to have football. They had athletes there that wanted to play football, and they didn't have anyone to play for. So the athletic directors at both schools got together, and they formed a co-op. So we'll get more into that too. But he has 11 years of coaching experience. He's a dedicated leader with youth in football. His journeys in football have started at Missouri State University for 4 years, University of Central Missouri for 2, and now he's currently at Kaufman and University Academy Co-op. And I'm going to let Jerry introduce himself. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Jalen McNeil. Like Coach said, man, I had some college experience. I was at Missouri State coaching outside linebackers with Wayne Chambers. One thing I want to say too, man, I owe everything that I know about linebacker play to Wayne Chambers. He taught me a lot during that time, and also Coach O. Coach O is currently the defensive line coach at KU. He taught me a lot about inside linebackers also. So then Coach Steck kind of took over that program when we all kind of transitioned away. Then I had a great opportunity just with the connections that I had. I was able to land a GA role at the University of Central Missouri. It was a directors of football operations and video coordinator, which I took pride in. I love like the aspect of the behind the scenes part of football. Then I kind of took a couple years off when my girlfriend at the time, now she's currently my wife, had my son. So I kind of did what like a year at middle school level at UA with Coach White, which I support Coach White now. I love that guy. Coach White gonna be one of the coaches at my camp also with Coach Green. Coach Greenlee was there also. I think we did pretty good at that middle school level. We was able to develop a lot of kids during that time. Then I reached out to Coach Blakemore when he took over the role as the head coach. He gave me a voluntary position 4 years ago, actually. I came in coaching linebackers with Coach Ellis. Coach Ellis is a great guy, man. He doing a lot of great things also in the community with the block, giving people of color a chance to teach and go to school to get their masters. Then that following year, I was able to take over the safety roles, which I had a great time doing that year. We was able to land Quincy, to land Q, the twin. He ended up going to William Jewell that year. So I was very happy with that. Then last year was my first year back at inside linebackers, which I had two kids that made my job easy, Caleb Barber and Xavier Randall. Xavier Randall was able to currently walk on. He was offered a PW, a preferred walk-on spot at William Jewell, which he gonna be playing college football up there. And Caleb Barber is returning this year, and he was able to make some noise last year. He was able to get on the Bobby Bell watch list, and just kind of bring you up. This is my fourth season going into the co-op, so I'm super excited with the young talent that we have, and just to see Caleb and just to see Gio. Is going to kind of be our leaders this year in that linebacker
That's
room.
good stuff, man. I'm gonna jump around a little bit, keep it organic, but I just want to know what when you were in high school, you played at Hogan, correct? The
Yeah,
Hogan,
D Hogan.
and
Yeah,
y'all were pretty good. You were pretty good. That was what early '70s. I mean, early 2000s. I should say. I'm thinking I'm dating
yep,
myself, but
yeah.
and basically, what position did you play?
I played so on the state team. I was a defensive end and an offensive guard with Hogan
And
Prep.
who was the? I remember a running back. I just can't remember his name.
We had Devin. Shout
That's
out to
him.
Devin Ray. Devin Ray was one of the hardest running backs. I feel like he kind of got during that time. I personally thought he was the best running back in the city. The things that Devin Ray was doing, it was just different for his size. He was able to hit the hole, get out, and score a lot of touchdowns for us. Also, shout out to Anthony Starks. He was our Thunder. You know what I mean? He was a little quick, shifty guy, was able to hit the hole, bounce out. He was able to score a lot of touchdowns also. And we had a couple of young guys too, Ricardo Boyles. He was amazing. He was part of that '08 class. We had a three-headed monster at Hogan. We was able to make history. I think we was the first team for the inner city to make it to state in that '06 season. Like literally everybody from that '06 season. I still talk to this day. Coach Roosevelt, man, he's like my best friend. He currently got a great opportunity to lead Northeast as their head coach. So I made lifetime friends at Hogan, man. And Coach Piscola to this day, man, I feel like he's a father. He's more than a father figure, man. He was like, he was like one of my dads. He filled in that gap, you know what I mean, to make sure every kid at Hogan had a positive male role model. So, but he also was hard on us too, you know what I mean? His dedication to the program and what he did for us is amazing. You know what I mean? Going to St. Louis at '06 year, not having Thanksgiving with your family, not traveling on the road, coming back late after the state game. There was a lot to manage when you was a little kid, but he made it fun, even though we didn't get the outcome that we wanted, but I think we still made history. You know what I mean? Being the first inner city team going down there and was able to handle business in that sense. You know what I mean? I think we truly put on for the
Who
inner
did y'all
city.
play that year in the state game?
I still remember, man.
Blair Oaks.
Blair Oaks,
Okay.
man. Blair Oaks is, I can truly say now, Blair Oaks is a powerhouse, man. At the current moment, I believe they win a state every like other year or something like that since I was in high school. I can truly say it's a football program, man. That's something that was a little
Hmm.
different, you know what I mean? That was very organized. They film studied, they knew our names. So, shout out to the head coach over there at Blair Oaks, man. They doing that time and just continuing through the program. They still doing a lot of good things up there at Blair Oaks. I think they just won state last year.
Did
So
Marcus Dedman play football with y'all, or did he come after that?
he was at the school with us when I was in high school. but he didn't play to that following year. He was on
I
that
remember we
following
had a
year team.
conversation. You said he was really a good football player,
I still think if Booby was had the opportunity to really play football, I think he would have been something
but he
special on
left.
the football field. His athletic system is different, you know what I mean? He was able to play the ball and catch hard balls also. He perfected over the shoulder passes at a young age.
But
He
he
was
had
really good too, man.
but he had
Shout out
that
to Booby
basketball
also.
Jones, and that took him far too. Though he played at the University of Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played
Yeah, playing
overseas. Played at the
overseas.
University of Missouri. They had a good run. I remember they had a really good team the one year. Him, Michael Dixon, and a couple other guys. And I think I want to say they went to the Sweet 16. They were pretty good that year. They were pretty
Yeah.
good.
Hey, I
Yeah,
remember that
yeah,
BKU. That's all that
yeah.
matters.
So yeah, if he would have, he definitely loved basketball. But if, like you said, I didn't get to see him play football. But you're not the first person that told me that he was a special football player. Also, he just chose basketball. But uh, let's talk about the camp that's coming up. So basically, BTG, you got the shirt on right now, right? Am I saying that BTF?
BTF,
Okay,
yeah.
tell us what that
Yeah,
means.
BTF. So
Bigger than
bigger than
football.
football, man. I was just literally just got done. Yeah, I was just talking to my wife about that, man. Literally this morning. So long story short, I was able to create bigger than football during a time where my grandma was transitioning. And it was a very hard time for me during that time. But I had to do something to kind of keep my mind off her, kind of passing away in front of us. So my grandma passed away last year. We're going on our in December. It's gonna be her second year away from us. During that time, like my grandma was very big on just always uplifting me, and like anytime I had a silly idea, like she was
Hmm.
like, "Yeah, do that." You know what I mean? So, and that's the same thing with my wife, man. My wife is the 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 glue that hold our family together. You know what I mean? She's able to, like, even though I have crazy ideas to run in a free camp, and she was like, "Jerry, do it." You know what I mean? That's what the community need. You know what I mean? I know doing football season, she probably hate me, but she definitely take care of the house and hear my ideas and bounce them off. But just to get back on the BTL side of things, I knew it was a sector or a spot for me in this field of training. I believe a lot of trainers doing it's a lot of great trainers out here, man. But I do believe that they price market is a little bit on the high side for a community. I want to create something that's for us, by us type of thing. I charge reasonable
Hmm.
rates for training, you know what I mean? And as y'all can tell, like I said, I do my first my first uh 6 months to 6 to 8 months, I was training kids for free. You know what I mean? I didn't charge a kid nothing during that time. I just needed content, you know what I mean, to kind of put on my page. But uh, I just wanted training, I just wanted to train the inner city youth because I do believe that wholeheartedly that Kansas City is a mecca. Missouri is the mecca of football athletes, man. We got a ton of athletes. They just need an opportunity. So I just wanted to kind of provide that opportunity to help kids learn those basic needs with training and development and fundamentals. I think a lot of times that our kids in our community survive off running
Hmm.
left and running right and just being the biggest kid on the field and dominating. Like when you get to the high school level, everybody's the same. Even with my own bio kids, I teach technique. I don't even care if they're good in youth football. I want them to understand their responsibility in the playbook. And so that's kind of what I preach with Bigger Than Football, man. We go over, uh, well, I'm grades first. You know what I mean? You can't train with me unless you got good grades. And that's the biggest thing. I believe that uh, definitely when I get younger kids, I got a ton of eighth graders going into the ninth grade this year. Our biggest thing that I appreciate is, hey, if you average between a 3.0 and a 3.5 every semester, you will be highly recruitable by your senior year. You know what I mean? Don't let you get over 21 on your ACT. You can go to anywhere in the nation that you want to. Again, that's kind of, even though it is a football training agency, I also say that we train for
Hmm.
life. You know what I mean? I become these kids' mentors naturally. Just saying football brings us together naturally on the field, we still talking about how that day going. I do have a background in trauma informed care. I was the residential program manager at Ozanam for 5 years, and currently I'm at Emerson's Place. I'm going into my eighth month, and I worked at DYS prior, Division of Youth Services. So there's no kid that I want to work with because I worked with them all. I worked with inner city kids that was, you know, had to sit down and understand what they did. You know what I mean? And I preach that message. Like, hey, you know what I mean? Everybody, everybody in the world is one mistake away from being able to sit down and reflect. But with bigger to football, I want to make sure that none of my kids even come close to that. You know what I mean? I got a great parents. I want to shout out to all my BTF parents, man. They are amazing. Investing in your kids is a hard thing to do. Definitely when there's a ton of people out here that want just the money aspect of it. I truly believe I learned this from Coach Lowe. From you are athlete, man. He taught me one thing when every time he come to Kansas City, he tell the parents it's their return on investment. Like I believe if you invest in me as the BTF brand, your kid is naturally going to get better. You know what I mean? Their confidence is going to be better. You know what I mean? Their understanding of the game. Because a lot of times, these kids' confidence
Hmm.
is just not there. You know what I mean? We living in that generation. We living in a hard generation where COVID kind of took a heavy presence in a few years. So, I think kids are still trying to rebound off that COVID stage and had to retrain on how to get to know people. I intentionally do group sessions sometimes just to make sure all my BTF kids meet each other, even though they might play for a different team. When they see each other in the community, what I mean, they go be like, "Oh man, that's my boy," you know what I mean. So I try to create that family aspect with my organization and trying to get kids to grow, what I mean, as a whole body.
Have you ever thought about taking BTF and turning it into a youth football program organization?
Yeah, so I've been in the talks again. Like I said, my wife is she's definitely my rock, and she listened to me. Like I kind of want to start and this is
Hmm.
I'm sharing it with you first because you're my dog. I kind of want to start off a
Okay.
women's flag team. I think I think that could kind of be BTF Avenue. I don't know if anybody knows right now, but women's flag in Kansas City is booming. It's several inner city schools that I think it was a young lady from Southeast that just signed to a college to play flag football. You know what I mean? I don't know the young lady name, but I saw it on Twitter the other day. Like I think it's gonna be my lane to kind of you know show my talent and the youth circuit in Kansas City is just so tough to kind of trying to create a new football team for kids for boys just because there's a lot of great programs in Kansas City. GT Elite, what I mean, where my son plays. Shout out to Corian. Corian is a great leader of man. You got Dynasty, you got um, KC World Wolf with Mike Pasquale. So it's a ton. Uh, the Falcons, KC Falcons, I definitely have to shout them out. You know what I mean? It's a ton of great organizations for these young kids. I didn't want to cross over to that lane and kind of, fight for kids. I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? So, I know my personality, I'm not a, I'm gonna stay in my lane type of guy, you know what I mean? So I kind of want to create my own thing and work with the young ladies. So I'm looking for my first, female athlete to train still. So if y'all watching this, y'all know any female athletes, man, bring them to me.
And you know what? That's big because a lot of different states across the country have girls football now at high school level. I know, I'm from Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh, and that's when I didn't realize Kansas. I'm here living in Kansas City, but I didn't realize Kansas City had anything at the high school level because I just happened to be watching some stuff in Pittsburgh on YouTube, and it had like
Hmm.
Steelers coming in, and then one time they had Marshawn Lynch come in to Pittsburgh and have fun with some of the girls at one of the local high schools there. And that's been going, and it's growing, it's big. And then the collegiate
Yep.
part of it, that's big.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs is doing a major job in the community. They are creating like girls play flag type of type of situation. I love what they're doing. You know what I mean? But like I said, I think not in the near future. What I mean, I'm still trying to get some funding together. I do want to start with that girls flag football type of things and see how it grows. You know what I mean? I don't want to have
Yeah,
30 teams. What I mean? I kind of want to keep it small, probably the middle school age level to the high school age level and just see what we can do. You know what I mean? I believe that this girls flag football is going to be. we already see that the Olympics is going to take regular football in there. I think the girls is next. You know what I mean? So I just want to be a kind of like an advocate for a women's flag. You know what I mean? And it's football, women's football in Kansas City is amazing anyway. I think we just had the KC Glory that went to the playoffs, and they did their thing this year. So I know they played their games at Pembroke. So if I haven't seen a girls football game, man, support the KC Glory, man. They're an amazing
Are they tackle
organization
or are they
over there.
flag? Okay.
They tackle. Yeah, they
Okay.
get down. They get
That's
down.
cool. That's good. And if you need any assistance, any help, or whatever, just reach out to me, man. Anything community based, I'm with. You know, that's I'm growing. And and when you say therapy, like when your grandmother was transitioning and it was hard for you, you know what I'm going through medically. And I started podcasting because my wife was always bugging me about doing a podcast, and because I would always
Yeah,
watch them, and sports podcasts. And I'm not a fanboy. I'm not that type of podcaster. I like to do substance, good content, like we're doing right now. And I don't get on there and do hot takes. I'm not. That's not me. You know.
yeah. I know. I got a new friend. I got a new friend up there in Tucker, man.
I interviewed
Coach
him. I
Cobbins. I got to
interviewed
shout
him.
him out too. Yeah, I got to shout. I got to shout Coach Cobbins out, man. We had some when he was at Kip, man. We had some games that we was going to get each other. Man, I think we both flat out said like we don't like each other at one point, just because that we both like
Uh-huh.
super competitive when it comes to football. But when he went to Tucker, I'm like, bro, he's like an older version of me. Man. Like, I respect what he's doing up there. That's another person I definitely want to shout out to. He's able anytime I need something, I text him. He's hey coach, you did this, and we always bounce ideas off of each other too. Same thing with Roosevelt. Like I said, Roosevelt is my best friend, man. It's gonna be crazy that we're gonna have to play him this year at East. You know what I mean? That's gonna be a weird game for me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Competing against my best friend. You know what I mean? So we're gonna we're gonna shake it up. We're gonna shake it up and just see
And
who
those
gonna
are always
win.
good
You know what
ones
I mean? So
when you're coaching.
yeah, I might not talk. Look, I might not
Yeah,
talk to him
not
that
supposed
whole
to.
week though.
Not
Might
supposed
just
to.
see him.
You keep it that goes. You go on quiet mode for that week. You know what I'm saying? When it
Yeah,
comes to him,
yeah. Now I wish Northeast much success, man.
right?
Just not week 3. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but I had a Mike on here around 2 months ago. I did a right before he he had the announcement had already been made that he took the Winnetonka job, and he did a podcast with me. If you get a chance, check it out. It was a really good one. And I know Cobbins for a minute. Cobbins coached my son in high school back when he was coaching at Hickman Mills, and my son played D line and outside linebacker at Hickman, and he was a 3-year starter. He played well, and a lot of it got to do is to Mike. You know.
yeah, I know he got a great impact on the kiddos. Like this year, I was able to coach in the Mocan game again with my best friend Rosie. Man, it was a great experience. And again, we had Kip represented, we had Hogan represented. One of my tight ends was able to get in. So I think, well, I know, man. It goes back to that what I said earlier. Kansas City has a lot of talent in the inner city, man. We just need the opportunity. I think that's kind of where I'm trying to hang my hat at. You know what I mean? I don't want to cross over anybody's limb. I think it's a ton of great youth
Mm-hmm.
coaches in Kansas City. Uh, I truly believe that I wish they could sit and get together, you know what I mean, and come together and just kind of put all egos aside and get in the same room because Kansas City gonna take over, man. We already see it in the NFL draft. Last few years, man, we've been having kids from the inner city getting drafted. You know what I mean? That could be another message that I preach to my kids. Like, why not you? You know what I mean? The only difference between the kid that made it to that level and kids that's kind of going through it is
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. Opportunity. So that's one thing I'm gonna keep preaching. Bigger than football, man. BTF, we give kids opportunity to grow. Like I help kids with recruiting. I don't know if people go to my social media. We've been Caleb Barber is one of my guys, man. We've been up and down these roads since December. We've been going to camp since December. And I know somebody's gonna give the offer that we really want for Caleb. But it's a grind, man. It's a grind and having resources. That's another thing. That's one thing that you go get with me as a trainer. Is somebody that go hit the road with the kid and be in those rooms with them.
And you know what? I was going to talk to you. I have a grandson, not the one that I'm bringing to camp. He's young. He's what, 9, and he'll be there on the 28th. But I have an older grandson. They live in Phoenix. My oldest daughter's oldest son, and he's a pretty accomplished football player. He's going into his senior year at a big school, big high school down there. They'll be ranked this year, and he's getting some looks. AU, Northern Arizona University. He likes K State. They're peaking, but they're back and forth with him.
Yeah.
SU is his favorite because it's right there in Phoenix, and he lives in Peoria, which is a suburb of Phoenix.
That's what
Right?
Herm
Yeah, it
Edwards
sure
was at, was
was.
he? I feel like
And
yeah, Herm
Scattergood,
Herm was
the
there.
running back from this past season, he played. Yeah, he's
Yeah, that
different.
boy different, man.
He likes that situation. He I like to get him up here for some training. Just to, even though he's doing big things. I talked to one of me and his assistant coaches down there, keep in touch, and they're doing their thing, big man challenges, because he plays this year. He's been an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman since his freshman year, but they're moving him to H back and fullback this year coming up because they really don't run a tight end, but they'll run the H back, and he's still going to play defensive line. He'll probably move to the end spot because he dropped a lot of baby fat, so he got lighter. And he.
Right now, man, being an edge,
Mm-hmm,
that's what they call
mm-hmm.
it now, man. Being an edge, being an outside linebacker, man, like that again, the game is changing, man. These guys is bigger, faster,
Yep.
fast twitch muscles. What I mean? Going at the snap of the ball, they already in the backfield, man. So like I would love the
Yeah,
opportunity
I
to
just
work
got to
with
get
them.
him up
You
here
know what
for
I
like
mean? And
maybe a week or so
especially
just to meet you
yeah,
and
for
do it
sure.
like that. But we'll see. This is a senior year coming up, so we'll definitely see about getting him up here for a week or so.
Hey, look, Nips said it best, man. All money in right
Yes.
now. During that time, you have to put all money in. Dominating. I don't know how his social media looks, but make sure he. I know little kids don't like
Mm-hmm.
kids don't post no more. Back in the day, I felt like we used to post all the time, man. But they only post highlights. You know what I mean? I can send you the information offline, man. I got some stuff to
Okay.
kind of give them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just naturally.
Um, so yeah, I'm glad you're at UA. I remember when you were just coming up to pick up your son, and I was like, man, you need to coach. And at the time, I was the assistant athletic
Yeah.
director. I was after I stopped coaching basketball, and I was done in 2017, and I took over youth sports from K through 6 at UA. And I was trying to get you to coach the little kids, but you were busy at the time. You were really busy. And I think you were.
I was working.
Yeah,
I was working in
it was
residential.
hard. Yeah, it was
I
hard.
was working on.
But I'm so glad you got on over there because you're needed. And I'm hoping that. Go
Yeah, no,
ahead.
I'm about to say I definitely want to shout out,
Mm-hmm.
Blakemore. Like again, what I mean, he didn't know me for a can of paint, you know what I mean? I just walked up to him like, hey, I can coach football, and you know what I mean? He was able to, give me an interview. I think the biggest thing that attracted me to UA, because again, everybody know I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Hogan guy to heart, you know what I mean? My wife graduated from there. Like I said, we got Elijah that's currently about to be in the 6th grade next year, and the junior is in the 2nd grade, man. So I am counting down the days so I'm able to just be on the same field as my kid. I never want to coach my kid. I'm a firm believer of that. I don't believe in like Debbie ball and all that stuff, man. I just want to share the field with my kid, you know what I mean? Because I coach linebackers and tight ends. I don't think neither one of my boys is even going to fit into
Mm-hmm.
that category. I mean? I think Elijah probably going to be Elijah's gonna be a really good quarterback up there in the near future. We got one more year, and he's gonna be able to play for the co-op middle school program and the junior. I mean, right now his body might be changing. Right now he plays running back with GT Elite. He plays some tackle and some
Mm-hmm.
defensive end. But we never know what his body gonna look like. But um, just modeling like what D Coach Prime, man, that's another person I kind of look up to. Uh, coaching on the same team as your kids, man, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I probably might when Elijah get on the field, man, I might cry. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man, because I seen his journey. He kind of started football a little bit late. He started at 10U with GT Elite, but when I tell you his dedication to the game, he's a student of the game, and he love it. You know what I mean? When Elijah get there, he go get a true competitor. And a junior is a baby me for real, man. He is super aggressive, like want to hit people. So it's gonna be good to see, man. Like kind of, I got two old school football players that's in my house, man. They love like hitting. You know what I mean? They're not with the new stuff they got going on now, man. They're not dancing around. They're not dancing
Yeah,
around.
they
They
ain't
coming
taking a knee
downhill
trying to just tackle
and
you
want to
from
hit
behind
somebody.
or the side. They're trying to lay it on you.
Yeah, nah. Hey,
Right.
profile tackle.
So that's big, man. And it's hard to coach. It's hard to coach. I shouldn't just say your sons, but it's or daughters. It's hard to coach relatives because you have other family members. Like you see something different, especially when you know the sport. You know what it takes for that child to get better. And some parents or some relatives don't understand that. They think he should just be playing, man. Nah, it doesn't work that way, and you don't want to put them in a position where they just think they get everything, you know, just because of who their coach is. You want them to earn it because they're not always going to play for you. They're going to end up having to go on and move and play for someone else, and that person's not going to care. Like I tell kids all the time, when you go to college, man, don't nobody care. Don't nobody care. If you play collegiate sports, I play collegiate sports. Don't nobody care. That coach will bring you in his office, take your scholarship, and send you home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people got to understand that. So they got to get used to being coachable at the younger levels. And if they're coachable at the younger levels, it'll translate and it'll keep going. So
Yeah.
that's the hard part because sometimes relatives get involved and it makes it a mess.
Like he kind of like he's kind of touched on, coach, man. There's
Mm-mm.
no loyalty in football, man. When I tell you that the so I'm a true fan of, I love that the kids are getting paid, you know what I mean? But it's becoming a terrible thing now that kids is leaving, you know what I mean? Kids is leaving programs before spring ball, right after spring ball, in the middle of the season. I heard somebody went into the portal before the and during the basketball season, somebody hit the partner during at the end of the game. Like this, let's get into a point where it got the NCAA definitely gonna have to figure some things out. You know what I mean, and kind of get that going. I don't think kids should sign contracts by any means. I don't want it to become like a true job, but it got to be some principle. Kids got to, you know, kids got to stay. And the same thing with coaches. You know, it's the same thing with coaches. And I sit in with my own hands. When I got let go at Missouri State, man, with one of my good friends, my fraternity brother, LG Hurd, he's up there doing his thing at Rutgers. When we got let go, man, I knew football was a business, and I always had that back of my head, despite how passionate I am about the game, that I love football. I know this is a business. Like you could get fired any second. I think when I was at Missouri State, man, I did. Me and LG, me and LG had everything ready for Coach Steck. You know what I mean? When he came in, you know what I mean? We had the recruiting board ready. We had all the players was ready to meet him. And he hit me with the
I'm
thank
going
you, but
somewhere
no
else.
thank you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. So and I was just blessed that I made when I was coaching during that time, I was able to hit up those conferences, the AFCAs, you know what I mean, going to those conferences, like meeting people on my own, you know what I mean, and getting those relationships. And of course, Coach Boda, man, I love Coach Boda to this day. He was able to get me on. He was able to bring me on to UCM. You know what I mean? I was a young GA. I wanted to coach. I wanted to coach football. He was like, "Listen, we want you, but you're not. It's not a coaching position. So you gonna be the director of football operations and video, and you gonna be okay with that." So I'm like, hey man, I learned again. You have to do stuff that you don't want to do. You know what I mean? To reach your dreams. And now, like huddle is so easy to me now.
Did y'all
Like
use
huddle.
I had a college basketball coach give me some insight into what's it called. It's bigger and faster than Huddle.
Like
No,
DB
I can't
Sports.
think of the name right now, but it's big time. It has all your NCAA, Division One, Two, Three, junior college, overseas
Mm.
players, everybody on there. You could just punch their name in and bring up film. Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
it was like Huddle on steroids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, Huddle's a great program, definitely for high school and smaller
Oh no,
programs. It's
Huddle's good.
affordable.
Yeah.
We use we use Huddle. Actually, man, Huddle changed the game with the Huddle focus, man. Blakemore was able to bring in that Huddle focus. I think the basketball team also used it. Also, it's a great opportunity, man. Like you don't have to. You're not going to miss no more clips. All that missing clip stuff is done. You know what I mean? And it's just track the ball.
That's good. Huddle's really good, and I used it a lot when I was coaching basketball for recruitment purposes and film study, things of that nature, interchanging footage with other coaches, things of that nature. It's different than football. With basketball,
Yeah.
y'all seem to be more secretive when it comes to film. Where in basketball, it's like whatever, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's different.
Um, when I tell you one thing again, I go back to Coach Scola, man. Like when I tell you, Coach Scola used to hop in his truck and go drive down to
Exchange
wherever we was
film,
playing, and he was recording the film and they changed the film, and I'm like, that stuff is so dinosaur now. Like, hey, it's a click of a
right?
button, you know what I mean? And everybody got film. Change the game. It helps. It helps with recruiting. It helps with just the coaches. Just coaches don't have to
Oh no,
drive
I
nowhere no
remember
more.
Coach Paul used to be like, I got to go meet so and so in East Buck, or whatever, to
Yeah.
exchange film.
You
It
know,
was crazy.
Coach Paul, my dog. Me and Coach Paul share
Okay,
offices at UCM. Yeah, he was the wide receiver coach. He had them boys going. He had a great kid in JV. He currently a Hall of Famer. So Coach Paul, man, I love. If you watching this, Coach Paul, root to the good bros, man.
yeah. So he used to have to do that all the time. He used to talk about it because in basketball we didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? It was like get the film the best way you know how to get the film. And basketball coaches don't really give it up. That's why I was kind of joking when I said football is more secretive. Actually, basketball, they don't share tape like that. It's like if I call you and we're playing against you, there's like how y'all share with they share with football with coaches that you're playing
Mhm.
basketball. You better call somebody that they played that you may have a relationship with and get the film, that way, because they're not giving it to you. You know what I'm saying? And then with Huddle, you can get it.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, you can
instantly,
get it. But
boy.
it was definitely that way. I remember I had a coach. Matter of fact, Hogan. So me and Steitzer became pretty good friends.
Man, Coach
Yeah,
Stice is
he
a
he
legend.
put me. He let me be one of his assistants on an All Star team that he coached. And I think I was telling you about that. And we had a really good team. Michael Dixon, it was his senior season going to Mizzou. We had some good players. And basically, he just broke it down to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why we do this. This is why we do this. He said, but he said, he said, man, he said, if you had more players, he said, because we had a tough time dealing with Hogan because I had Martez and I had some other good players too, but Hogan was loaded, at the time. They were loaded. This was after Marcus. They had Ahmad, Wainwright, Broderick Newbill, Gucci 1 year.
New Bill and Gucci, my dog. New Bill used to work for me
Uh-huh.
at Ozanel, and Gucci trained Elijah before pre-COVID. Elijah was hooping, so
They had a little
Gucci,
guard. I can't remember his
great
name.
man, great
Little
kid.
guard. He was their starting point guard. He was small in stature. But he was good. He didn't shoot a lot, but he can break it down and get the ball to people who need it. Then Maurice, I see Maurice a lot. He lives in the same community I live in, Maurice Mason.
Mm.
So we had a decent. Me and Sticer had a really good relationship, and it was, and he would we just made contact and ended up becoming good friends. But the year they went to the state title game, they beat us in districts, and they beat us in the district championship, and it was 12. It was spring of 12, and because it was Martez's senior year,
Yeah.
and they played a team called Charleston in the state title game. And one day I'm sitting in ISS. I was doing ISS at UA, and I get a phone call, and the administrative assistant calls me first and says, "Hey, I got a coach on the phone who wants to talk to you." I said, "All right, go ahead. Send him. Go ahead and put him through." And it happened to be the head coach of Charleston over there in the boot hill. And I didn't know much about him, but if we would have beat Hogan, we would have played him. So it was like anybody that was coming from this side, it was either going to be, if UA would have won, we were going to the championship. If Hogan went, they were going to the championship. That's how good both teams
Yeah.
were. And Hogan beat us in the district championship game out of O'Hara.
I know it's above me by all means, but I would love to see that Hogan co-op rivalry, man. It gotta get back, man. Like people have to get in the room and get that game back together because I think two charter schools going against each other. You know what I mean? It just gotta happen, man. We just down the
Mm-hmm.
street from each other. I would love to go against Coach Scola, man. I mean, again, it's gonna be a weird game, but I mean, I
Yeah,
would love to see that happen.
I'm wondering why they took place yet. I mean, we played
I
them
don't
one
know.
year. I remember it was the first time we played them. We played over at Hogan, and they had that one kid. He was really good. He ended up going to. I'll never forget it, man. We're playing over at Hogan, and we catch him in the backfield, and this kid is going left. He's going sideline to sideline, and we're like, man, get him on the ground, get him on the ground. And he it's like he ran 100 yards side to side, and then busted it for like 40, and took it to the house. And I cannot remember his name, but he went to He went to Mizzou. I'm sorry, he went to Mizzou. After that, I want to say that was 2013, somewhere like that.
You must be talking about Sherles then.
Anthony, yeah, that's him.
Anthony
Yep.
Sherles. Yeah,
Uh huh.
Anthony Sherles. Yeah.
Yeah,
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 Sherles a
yeah.
dog,
He
man.
was really good, and we couldn't get that kid on the ground, man. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't get him on the ground. But I remember the guy from Charleston called me and he wanted tape on Steitzer. He's like, can you send me some tape on Steitzer? Well, we had a friendship. I'm like, no, I can't send. I was honest with him. I said, I'm not sending you no tape. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to get it the best way you know how. You know. He said, well, can you tell me a little bit? I
Yeah.
said, they're athletic, as always. You know what I'm saying? They're athletic as always. I mean, Hogan is Hogan. You know, uh, they're a little deep. And they're pretty good. Charleston beat them that year in the state championship game because Charleston was loaded. They were, and I didn't realize there were so many African Americans that lived over there in the Boot Hill until I watched that game. And I was like, the whole Charleston team was black, and I'm thinking it's some old country small town, you know, and it was, but it was a community of African Americans. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah, that's dope.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Down
dope
in
to
the
hear.
Boot Hill, is that normal? I guess that's normal. So
Yeah, yeah, because it's just it's one of those communities that you never know when you go get down there, but it's probably a ton of more African Americans
I
than we
guess
think it
and it's
is
close
down
to
there.
Tennessee, so it ain't far from Memphis either. So that makes a lot of sense, you know. But yeah, man, I'm so glad. Go ahead and tell your dates again and times with your camp.
Yeah, so man, Bigger Than Football Camp will happen at University Academy, 6801 Homes. Everybody that signed up received the email. We looking at 125 kids, man. I am super excited. And before this podcast is over again, man, before I get the more details, I have to shout out D from Village Kansas City and that whole board. I also sit on the board up there, man. That gave me an opportunity to kind of bring sports into VKC. And D is amazing. I coach her son, and technically I
Mm-hmm.
coach both her kids. She helps me with everything social media. If y'all follow my pages, She is a social media person over there, Ross with BTF. That's why it looks so good. If you go to my real page, you can see the big difference. You know, what I mean? She's definitely great. I just if anybody need any social media advice, definitely hit up D, because she's amazing. But to the camp aspect of it, again, we have 125 kids signed up. Our goal is to feed every single kid. We're gonna have hot dogs, chips, drinks for the kids. For the coaches, I'm gonna have Brock's and root beer, and it's just gonna be a good time. And we're looking at the current moment, we're looking between 12 to 15 stations. We're gonna separate the kids by age groups, and it's truly a true fundamental soccer camp. We're not doing no head tops. We're not doing no one hand catches. We're not doing none of that stuff, man. We are taking it down to the basics. You're gonna learn how to step right, and you're gonna learn how to step left when you come to BTF camp. You're gonna also learn how to properly tackle. You're gonna learn how to properly catch the ball. We're gonna teach over the shoulder catches, and just to kind of go back to the true fundamentals of the game. Man, I got amazing coaches that's gonna be on board. Man, I got a ton of coaches that's gonna be here, from college experience coaches, from coaches that's currently working at a high school, either assistant coaches, defensive coordinators. I have a head coach that's gonna be there, and I have some of my fraternity brothers that's going to help me out also, man. So when I tell you it's really for the community, it's for the community. I'm having a auction, I guess, a raffle in a sense, that I'm gonna give away a pair of Jordans from one of my sponsors, DVA Percent, that's down there. So it's going to be a good time. Uh, my goal too is to feed the parents too, man. I want the kids to eat first. By all means, kids go eat first because I love the kids. But if I have enough for the parents, man, parents go feel free to come down, grab them a couple hot dogs too, man. Like this is something that I want to continue to build, and grow. I want to do this again next year.
Hmm.
As soon as camp is over with, I'm gonna get with Blakemore. I'm gonna get with Gresham to see if I could put it on the calendar for next year. Next year, I kind of want to get to that 200 kid range. You know what I mean? I kind of tested it out with the 100, and I end up
Yeah,
getting 125 because I didn't close the registration in time, and I would never turn a kid back, man. That's why I kind of kept those 25 kids on. We're not so much doing walk ups, but again, if a kid come, man, like it's gonna be
yeah,
hard for me to turn them away. I, the camp is gonna be fun, man. I owe everything again to my wife. She's definitely, again, a strong person. She probably doing, like I said, during football season. I know I'm her headache, but uh, she fully support this, man. Throwing a free event is hard, man. So from the in-kind donations that I received from people that's in Springfield, Missouri, man, my boy Sean Thomas, my roommate, man, I love that dude, man. He sent me a in-kind donation. I had to text him like, "Hey, you sure this is for what?" He like, "Bro, you got it, man. Don't no questions." You know what I mean? My other old roommate, Lawrence Brown, man, my Petey, like those guys reached out and sent as soon as they saw my flyer, man, they said, "Hey, this is for the kids, dog." So I'm having a ton of support. Again, I wanted to grow next year. I want the 200 kids next year. I want more sponsors. So if anybody want to sponsor the camp for next year, man, we can start talking now. Because I believe in good business. This is needed, man. Like free camps is needed in the community. I know another person that's doing a great job too. I want to shout him out because he came across my brain. Coach Brent,
mm-hmm.
he got his free camp in July. So I always feel like support that we have to support the community, man. So and Coach Daniels gonna be there. Couple coaches from our team is gonna be there. I think it's gonna give UA a great opportunity to shine because people don't understand we
Right,
play football in
right.
UA in Kaufman. So I think people still not in the know when they come up to the facilities. We have beautiful facilities. Blakemore is doing a good job of getting everything that we need every year. Since I've been there, we got new equipment, we got new pads, new footballs, new everything. And this year is going to be a special year, man, just to kind of go off the camp. Man, I'm super excited for year 4 for the University Academy and Kaufman Co-op. We got a lot of great players returning. Julian Wilson, I cannot go without a day without saying that kid. He's a shorter kid, but he plays like he's 6'5", man. That kid get after it, you know what I mean? We have Cameron McForley, a great kid, great high GPA kid. The fastest kid I've seen in a long time, man. So he's good, of course. I always love up on my guys, man. I have Caleb Morgan, I have Gio for my linebackers, and I got T-Can for my tight ends and Mark for my tight ends, man. We looking pretty good, dog. So I'm excited for week one. Week one at UA, you know what I mean? A 5 o'clock game, I think,
Mm-hmm.
Friday night. So it's gonna be a different little mix to it, you know what I mean? I don't know when the last time we had a Friday night game at UA, you know what I mean? But this is going to be amazing.
Gresham started doing that several years ago because of the daylight, because we don't have lights. We didn't have lights. So he had to get the
Yeah,
game in early. Because I used to always wonder, starting this fall, so it's starting to get darker a little earlier, but it always seems to work out. You know what I'm saying? It always seems to work out.
yeah, yeah. And shout out to Coach Gresham, man. That's nothing too. Shout out to Coach Gresham and the whole athletic department. Shout out to Miss Kemp, great principal that took over
It
I
is
said
a
the program
program.
that took over the school. I think this is
Mm-hmm.
like year 3 for her. Like she's doing amazing things, man. Just bringing the HBCU vibe to UA. I think the last two homecomings. I almost didn't want to coach. I wanted to go down there with the Miss Kemp had that mug. Miss Kemp had that mug rocking, man. So I was like, man, coach, do I want to coach today or do I want to do the homecoming facility? So, man, the shout out to all the UA kids, man. I really feel like that's a tight community, man. We very supportive of each other. And again, we share athletes across the sport. So like shout out to baseball, shout out to basketball, Coach Anthony over there with the basketball program. I think he's gonna have it's not gonna be no surprise to me, but I think UA basketball is gonna be pretty good, man. On the other side, Kaufman or AD over there, Kaufman, Coach Wilson over there doing a great job with those guys over there, man. So I'm looking forward to and volleyball. My sorority sister, I want to definitely before I leave, shout out to Coach Webb, man. She is doing an amazing job with those girls. They will be outside when we be conditioning, and sometimes I look over like I feel like
Yeah.
they working harder than we are sometimes. Them Coach T be having them girls going. So I definitely want to just shout out to all UA sports, all Kaufman sports, man. We definitely have to support each other. And I want to say good luck to all the youth kids that's currently in preseason. 'Cause right now it's preseason ball. And shout out to all the high school kids that's going to camps. I hope y'all able to get the offers that y'all deserve. And if y'all looking for a trainer, like Dion said, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not hard to find, man. So you can hit me up on all my social medias, and we could get going. And coach, I want to shout you out. You are a pillar in our community. You are a pillar at UA. You do a ton of things from UA, man. Look, that basketball day, man, I almost wanted to cry because I see all the support that you received that day. You know what I mean? Like Kanisha, my wife, she like, of course we going to coach basketball game, no questions. Like, and she
Yeah. My
graduated in
first year here.
'08. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's the love that I see for our programs up there at UA, and I think we're gonna continue to grow. And like I said, I think we personally gonna surprise a lot of teams this year. I think people gonna realize who we are, man. I'm super excited for our leader, Coach Blakemore. This is his fourth season with the co-op, and he is in his bag, man. I can definitely say. Me and Coach Blakemore, we've been. I spent a lot of time with him at this point. So I think we gonna have a great season, and I just hope everybody come out that's listening to this, support the co-op, man. We're about to have a fundraiser coming up with the co-op. So just come catch a game. If you don't come to the fundraisers and stuff, just come and see what UA football is all about. And I think you're gonna be very shocked. You know what I mean? What UA and Kaufman can do.
And that's big. And I do appreciate y'all that night because that was emotional for me. And I really appreciated that. And Miss Kemp did her thing. You know, she really did. And her
Yeah.
young
Miss
lady
Kip,
named Naomi, who's in the high school, she she let her lead the way. Miss Kemp gave her an assignment, and she put on for me. So that was good,
yeah.
man. My family was so touched, and as well as I was, and
Yeah, now you deserve, hey, coach, you deserve your flowers. I think one thing about being in the mental health field, people in general, well, first off, shout out to all the men because it's
Hmm.
Mental Health Awareness Month, man. Like men in general, like we do so much for others, and we sometimes take a back seat. But sometimes you have to give yourself flowers, and other people have to give you flowers also. You've been doing your thing, coaching that community, from coaching to being a security guard to checking. You knew every single kid in every single kid in that community at UA. Like you knew Junior and Elijah before you even before they
Right.
even got into the class. So like, and you still take that same aspect in life, man. So I'm always
Appreciate
praying
you.
for you, coach. I always appreciate
Thank
what you're
you.
doing, man. That's why when you text me about this, I said I'm not even a podcast type of dude, but I'm a I'm gonna speak from the heart, man, and definitely like give you your flowers and give my wife her flowers and give my mother-in-law her flowers. You know what I mean? Like, those people that touch me, that have been in my life, that support me, man. Bigger than football is still. I don't believe I didn't make it yet by any means. I still think that I'm still coming up. I had a amazing opportunity. Shout out to Ray for the Kansas City People's Choice Award. Somehow I made it to the finals. That hopefully by July, I think July the 27th, I'm in a running for best youth organization, which is amazing. Win or lose, man, I'm not going to trip because I know in my mission. I know what God has a purpose for me, and I think keep seeing my kids get offers, keep seeing my kids develop. I
Hmm.
think that's the biggest thing that
And that's the big thing. And on June 28th, I will also have a podcast on location at the Bigger Than Football camp at UA.
yeah, you're gonna be in the
They're
press
gonna put me
box,
in the press
coach.
box.
Yeah, Coach Blakemore just
Oh,
to prove
okay.
it.
So I don't got to be out in the sun.
Yeah, so that wasn't gonna be a thing. That was not gonna
I
even
didn't
be a
mind,
thing, man. So.
but that's fine. That's fine.
And I want to shout out to one more person to shout out to, man.
Well, that's my
Shout out to
guy.
DJ Foot. You know what I mean? Parks, what I mean? I try to keep everything UA. You know what I mean? He gonna be providing live music throughout the day. And if you signed up for the BTF camp, bring your energy because we are going to be hyped the whole time. From 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. I promise you, you will have a great time. And next year, if y'all missed out, please sign up early, man. When y'all see the link drop, sign your kids up, man. Like this year, that link went when the link dropped, we probably had 80 kids in the
Hmm.
first 30 minutes. I was like, wow, you know what I mean? Not having a name, people don't know who I was, but to have 80 kids sign up for 30 minutes is
Yeah,
crazy. You know what I
that's
mean?
big. And
So
I told my son-in-law, and my daughter, I said, "Hey, I signed Hezekiah up for this camp. I just did it." They're like, I said, "Oh, don't worry." I said, "I'll take them." And this is before we even talked about me doing a location podcast. I said, I'll go up there with him. I'll take him up there, make sure he's there, and make sure he gets home. It's my grandson. You know, but so he'll be with me early because I got to come set up and everything. And he's looking forward
yeah,
to it.
he could check in. He could check in early. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna have him wait in
he's
line.
looking forward to it. He really is. And that's his thing. And he's a junior aficionado of football. So I mean, he loves the game, and he loves to play it, but also he understands it, and he knows players, and he understands team. I mean, I'm like, he's only 9 years old. He acting like he's his grandfather. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, these kids. My wife probably get mad. She get mad during football season because that's all my kids talk about. I force my kids to watch, definitely with that age group. I force my kids to watch full games because right now,
Oh yeah,
like
highlights.
YouTube, man, like they just watching highlights. Like I want my kids to know
Right.
situational football. Like I need my kid to know. I need Junior to know if it's 3rd and 2, what do you need to do to get to the first down? You know what I mean? Like you Elijah playing quarterback, I need him to know, like, hey, 1st and 10, take what you got for the first throw. You know what I mean? Take that check down. You know what I mean? You don't have to get 10 yards every single play. So, parents, that's the stuff that y'all gonna learn and the kids gonna learn when they get to our camp. And I want to continue to grow, man. Like, I know I laugh with my wife. Like, I want to do a Mom's Day BTF camp. Let them understand the game because a lot of times, moms do want to know about football. It's a ton of There's a ton of football girlies in the world, man, but they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. So just providing a resource for them, you know what I mean? Understand, moms need to know what a first down is. Mom need to know what third down is. You know what I mean? When I be at these youth games, mom, people be saying that people cheated. I'm like, they're not cheating. They just didn't
Yeah,
get the first down.
that's all.
They just didn't get the first
They
down, man.
don't understand the game. They think, yeah, like you said, they think, oh, they're cheating. No, they're not. They just didn't do what they didn't do what they were supposed to do. Right.
Hey, they get the first down, you know what I mean? Like we in the so with Elijah, he's in a weird league. Field goals is worth more points than what a regular field goal is. And if they go for two, it's uh like one. If they go for two, it's like 1 point. If they go for a field goal, it's like 4 points. It's something. It's totally different with the werewolves. So just kind of understanding those rules. So every league got their own rules, man. It's gonna be a resource, man. I think bigger the football is growing, and you helped me with that growth, just getting my name out, helping me do this podcast. I told my wife before I got on, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, but we've been
Hour
on
and
for an
four
hour
minutes.
talking, like
Hour and
it's a
4 minutes.
natural
It's
conversation.
organic, and
Look,
that's what, like, if you watch a lot of podcasts, you get on there. Either if it's Kansas City Chiefs or if it's whoever, Pittsburgh Steelers, you got some podcasts, man. They're fanboying it up. They don't give any other team respect. They don't talk about stuff that people need to know about football. It's all about
mhm,
we're going to beat them. It's like, yeah, okay, but why? Or what? Or why did we
yeah.
lose? Understand what didn't we do? Those type of things. And that's the type of podcast I do on us, all sports related, and also my other one, Stiller Nation Midwest.
I can't follow that one,
But
coach.
I
You
do
already
talk
know I
about
can't
other
follow the
teams
other
on
one.
there. But it's a Stiller based one. It is. It's Pittsburgh based. But all sports
Yeah,
related.
nah.
All sports related. I talk about all sports, from football, basketball, baseball, everything, high school sports, which is what I really want to get into also this coming season. So I need to show up at more high school games so I can take a look at kids that I don't know about right now. So I can come on my podcast and say, hey, I went to such and such game and I've seen this kid, and this kid's pretty good. And I can talk about that kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Or I could talk about a team.
I know
You
you can
know,
start that. Look, you can
I
start that
will.
UA,
I
man.
will.
Start home. You know, we got a lot of great talent, man. Our senior class is the 2026 class. We're gonna have a good amount of players on there that probably gonna go to the next level this year. What or current or last year, 2025. Shout out to that senior class, man. I think they made history or something. They told me that this was the first class that a lot of them got true football scholarships and playing football for college. You know what I mean? We got three kids that's going to Avila. Josh Jones is an amazing kid, man. He going to high school in Iowa. Uh, Vera Cliff. He played offensive line and defensive line for us. We have Jamin Wilson that's going to Graceland, which was major. They saw something in him. He played O line for us, and they switched him over to D line. He was a very aggressive guard, so I could definitely see that transition. And who else did I mention? Who else going? Yeah, I think that's it. Nathan going to Avila, Keith going to Avila, Xavier going to Avila, Jamin going to Graceland, Keith going to not Keith. Josh going to Blair Oak. Yeah. So we got some kids, man. We got a very talented group. When I tell you those young guns, the class of 2028 and below, man, we got a lot of good talent coming in this year, man. So I'm super excited to be at UA. I'm super excited to have bigger the football at UA. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a fun time, coach. You know what I mean? It's gonna be
And I
special.
like to give a shout out to Dee, also of Village KC. She created my website. So I have a website that I launched around a month ago, and she's the one who did it.
Yeah.
And it's still, I got to put my ads on there and some sponsorships, and she's working on that.
Yeah, she do my stuff too. When I tell she better look, D, you better share this post when you see it.
Hey, matter of fact, make sure you tell your friends to view, like, and view, yep, and
Subscribe for
subscribe.
sure.
Because I not only do I do sports, I do financial literacy, and I try to gear it towards athletes. Because a lot of these athletes, they're going pro, and even with the NIL, they're blowing their money. Um,
They are blowing it,
and they're
coach. I'm
not they're
already
not
knowing.
taking care of their business, man, for the long run because they got that feeling that it's going to keep coming, it's going to keep coming, and one day it's going to stop. And you want to have some of that money, and some of them,
Yep.
it's not because they're just ignorant. They just don't. Well, they are ignorant in a bad in a good way. What I mean is they just don't understand what to do because they weren't taught it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think I'm taking the lead, like what I can do to help. And some of that is to have a podcast with several people that know about financial literacy, come on and speak to people about how to invest your money, how to save your money, about insurance
For
policy and
sure.
things of that nature. And, you know, all that type of stuff. So it's good things. And then also with me, needing the transplants, the kidney and the liver, the awareness piece medically, things of that nature. It's more than just sports with me. You know, it's like life, man. It's life. So it ain't not. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. In 23, when I first found out about my situation medically, I didn't want to talk to nobody. I got inverted.
Yeah.
I wasn't answering the phone. The only people I was talking to was my wife because she lives with me, and my daughter and my sons, and that was about it. I wasn't even family members from Arizona, California, and Pittsburgh. I wasn't even answering the phone. I did not want to hear it because all I seen was my mortality. You know what I'm saying? But now
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Hey,
Yeah,
more life. Yeah, more
yeah,
life,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
more
yeah,
life, more
yeah.
life, more
And I see
life,
that
coach.
now. So then
Every day, every
right.
day is a
And so I
blessing, man.
see now I need to give back, you know, and it ain't about, well, once I get my transplants, I'm good. Nah, you gotta, you gotta give back, man. There's people out here in the same situation that I am, and and I want them to be blessed also with the opportunity to live a
Hmm.
longer life with a transplant, or maybe make them aware of what not to do to damage those organs. You know what I'm saying? So that they won't
Yep.
even go through what I'm going through. So I think that's really big, and that's part of it too. But I appreciate having you on here. I really do. Make
For
sure you tell
sure.
your friends about this. Tell Blakemore and them to check it out. And view, like, and subscribe. It'll be up on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Big J's Media Content Group. That's my YouTube channel. Also, my Facebook, and also my Big J National Media Sports Group page on Facebook. Also, hey man, what's up? What's up? How you doing?
He got to steal the light.
And then I always put it on X. I put it, I download it everywhere, so anybody can view it. But check it out on YouTube. And, hey man, what's going on?
He a little sore. He
Oh,
had a
okay.
surgery yesterday.
Okay.
Nah, I appreciate you,
Okay.
coach. I'm
Got
about
you.
to head off
Got
to
you.
training,
Hey,
man.
man, like I said, I appreciate you, man. Anything you need, let me know.
All
Hey, one
love.
of them T-shirts, man, that you got on, man. How much they cost? Give me one. I got it. You know.
Nah, we go. I'm gonna get you,
Okay.
coach. I'm
I
gonna get you right.
appreciate it. Thanks, Jerry.
No problem.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
So yeah, that was a great podcast, man, with my guy Jerry McNeil, a Bigger Than Football organization, giving back to the community with a free football camp, June 28th, first of many to have. Like he said in the podcast, that he wants to keep continuously doing it, and also get into the lane of girls flag football and things of that nature. And he has a wealth of knowledge, man, and he has two young men that aspire to play football, and hopefully, they'll take care of business. When I was at UA for the first time in '07, I got hired in 2007. His now wife was going to school there. She was a senior in high school. So I'm dating myself. I'm getting old, man, because she was a senior in high school. Now she's married with two children, and he was also in high school. So I think either he was in high school or he had just graduated. So it just shows you my age. But he's a good guy, man, and I'm so glad that he gave me the time today to speak to him. And so Bigger Than Football, June 28th at University Academy, 6801 Holmes Road at the football field. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm doing a live podcast. Like he just told me, I thought I was going to be out on the field, plugged up. I was ready for the heat or the rain. But they gave me the press box, so I feel like VIP. That's all right. So that's a good thing. as far as that goes. I can give me some air and be all right. But I'll definitely be there. My grandson, one of my youngest grandsons, he'll be there in the camp, 9-year-old, participating also. But before we get off of here, uh, I want to talk about some news. So I think people have been waiting on this, and I'm not happy to hear it, even though it's not a murder or drugs. It's not like that. But Shador Sanders was pulled over in Ohio the other day, I think 2 days ago. I'm not sure what police department. I think it was a Cleveland or a suburb of Cleveland, and it might have been Ohio State Police in a Ram supercharger truck, not the car, but it had a supercharger engine, and he was doing 50 mile per hour, 55 mile per hour zone. It's like 60 miles over the speed limit. And I just say this, people say, oh, it's just a ticket. It's just a ticket. I get that. I understand that, but speed kills, man. It does. Speed kills. He was definitely blessed not to be in any accident or anything like that. Because one twitch of the steering wheel at a speed like that, at a rate of speed like that, or anything, a sneeze, anything, that wheel turns at that speed, that car is going out of control. And that could have been a nasty story, and I'm so glad it didn't happen. So I think, Dion, you need to sit down with them and have a little conversation. Not saying people have fun, but they're looking for stuff on some of these rookies. Some players just get a lot of attention, and he's getting a lot of attention for a 5th-round pick, or was it a 6th-round pick? One of the two, 6th-round pick or a 5th-round pick. He's getting a lot of attention about him starting, maybe possibly starting over Flacco and Pickett, which I can see. And even the other guy that they drafted before him in the draft this year, so he doesn't need any negative publicity. None. He's already getting enough from being said that he botched interviews, purposely done so he wouldn't get selected by certain teams. Some of that's true. From what I'm finding out, he did do that, and he was told to do it by his dad. If that's true, that's crazy, but it's one of those situations, where it dropped him. He lost a lot of money in that deal, to go from a 1st-round pick. Some considered him the 2nd best player in the draft, the 2nd best quarterback in the draft, and what he was the 5th quarterback taken. And this wasn't a great quarterback draft anyway, but for him to go from 2 to like 5th or 6th at that position, that was a big drop. And that definitely affected his money. It affected his draft status as far as 5th-year options, because he's out of the running for that. Now, after 4 years, he had a hope that he plays well and gets on the field so that he can call his shots again after 4 seasons, Then there's talk of rumors but I think the way he's been playing, even though it's in T-shirts and shorts, mini camp, OTAs, they said he looked good. He passed the ball well. A lot of players look good during that time. But, hopefully it translates. The only game I hope that he loses are against Pittsburgh. But other than that, he's a pretty good, he makes good throws. He's not the most athletic. He doesn't have that pop in his arm like some of the other quarterbacks, but he understands the game of football because he had a good teacher. So he has some knowledge of that, of understanding how to play the game, the position of quarterback, and understanding reading defenses and things like that. I'm pretty sure Dion, his prime time, passed that on to him in a lot of the study that he did while he was at Jackson State and also at Colorado. So I think he'll be fine, but he doesn't need the negative publicity, man. So do the speed limit, Shador. Do the speed limit, man. Too many of these athletes get hemmed up on little, things like that. So some of the public may think that it's not a big deal, but they don't see what I see. 101 miles per hour can be a terrible accident with just the twitch of the steering wheel, and you're rolling, and hopefully that nothing happens to you that where you're hurt and unable to play, and I can give you 2 people that it hurt. One you may remember and one you may not, but I remember both of them. Back in the 1970s, 1980, late, was it 80? 1979. Joe Green had just retired, and Pittsburgh drafted a guy. They called him Senor Sack. He went to, I want to say, Texas A&M or Texas Tech, and he was like the leading sack getter in collegiate football that year. His name was Gabe Rivera. And they said he was destined for the Hall of Fame. He was going to fit right into where Mean Joe Green, played at on the defensive line in Pittsburgh. And he was having a hell of a preseason, and everything was translating. And he bought a sports car, and he was speeding during the summer. I think it was summertime. You know, because I don't think he played any regular season games. But he had played in the preseason, so I think it was between the preseason and the regular season. And he had a horrific accident, man. He went out the back window from speed, racing his sports car, and he went through the way paralyzed from the neck down. Never played a single regular season game. Career over, just like that. And then he ended up passing away from the paralysis. His body just gave out on him several years later, and he passed away. Gabe Rivera, look him up. You can Google it. Senor Sack. He was legit. He was legit. He was the number one draft pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not sure the year. I want to say 79 or 80, but he was definitely a monster while in college and in the preseason that year. And he was definitely destined for great things. And like I said, he was going to fill in right where everybody in Pittsburgh, I remember, were so pumped up that we drafted him, and they're like, oh, yeah, because everybody had heard about him. So, and that was a shame, man, to lose his life like that, to lose his career in the first place because of speed, because he wanted to race his car and lost control of the vehicle. And like I said, he went out the back window. And you understand how big a body is, a big defensive lineman going out of a small sports car's back window. You're bent up. It means you're breaking your back, your neck, things of that nature, for that much force to push you through the back of the car, out onto the road highway. Right after the Super Bowl in 2006, that season coming up, Ben Roethlisberger loved motorcycles. And he was from Ohio, and Ohio didn't have a helmet rule. And he didn't like wearing helmet. And if you talk to a lot of guys who ride motorcycles, some of them, they'll tell you they don't like to wear a helmet. They like to feel free. And he was one of those guys. He was struck in downtown Pittsburgh on 2nd Avenue. Lady ran the light, knocked him for a loop off the bike. They said it was really bad. He broke a bone. I think he broke his leg or his hand or something like that. Tore his shoulder up. But he lived. And he continued playing, once he rehabbed and everything. But he missed the first part of the season, and that could have been bad. That could have been really bad. And and he was blessed not for anything else to happen to him that day. I mean, yeah, he got bruised up, and like I said, he had some broken bones from it. And he was in a bike. He was on a motorcycle, so he has no protection around him. It was just air and the bike and him. And a big piece of metal coming at him. Lady ran the light and hit him. Just be careful, man. And there's probably other situations. You look at Ruggs with the Raiders, his rookie year with the Raiders, where he took somebody's life, speeding. I can't remember if any alcohol played a role in that, but I know he went to jail. So I think it did. I think it was homicide by vehicle. Because he was intoxicated. I'm not sure, but he was moving in his vehicle and excess speeds up to several miles over the speed limit wherever he was driving at, and took somebody else's life, and he's been in jail ever since. As a matter of fact, there was just an article on ESPN where he apologized to the family so wholeheartedly. He had never got to talk to him until just recently. I think he's trying to get reinstated now. I think so. I think he may have gotten released. I'm not sure. For all intents and purposes, it's been like 4, maybe 5 years. So hopefully he can gain his career back. It's going to be hard for him. And there's probably been other ones too, man, and all because of speed in vehicles, young guys in vehicles and flying around. Be careful, man. Be careful. Please be careful. You got a long career, you're in the public eye, and things like that, can happen, and it can be deadly consequences if you're not careful. OKC and Indiana Pacers. OKC leads the series 3-2. And tonight, Halliburton, I'm not sure if he's playing. I heard that he was hurt, but they said he's may give it a go. The other day, they said he wasn't going to play, but now I'm hearing that he may. And I'm thinking, with it 3-2 Oklahoma City, this is it. So if he can get up and down the floor and move a little bit, he'll probably play because they need a win. If they lose, it's over with. It's over. It's 4-2 Oklahoma City, And I got this feeling that even though he may not be at 100% and he may not even play, Indiana might pull out this win tonight. They might tie it up because I predicted at the beginning, if you watch one of my older podcasts from a week or so ago, it would go 7. But I could be wrong. It may go 6 if Oklahoma City wins tonight because SGA is doing his thing and they got a really good team. They really do. They got a really good team. And they've been handling the Pacers ever since that one loss. So look for that. That'll be on tonight. I think that they start at 7:30 ABC. So that should be a good one. It's like I said, it's 3-2. So Indiana got everything to play for, and so does the Thunder, because they can win it all tonight if they win on their home floor. No, it's on Pacers floor. I'm pretty sure. Thinking maybe it's in Indiana. I'm not sure, but yeah. So that's big. Then you have some football news. Jair Alexander signed with the Baltimore Ravens. He was going through it up in Green Bay. He was suspended last year for actions, for his actions, whatever he did in the locker room, whatever. Green Bay suspended him for a game or two. So it's been rough for him up there, and he's a really good corner, and he can play outside. So, and he's really good at it. He's good at that. And they picked him up for 1 year, $6 million. And they said it was already in the works because he played with the quarterback for Baltimore. He played with him, Lamar, at Louisville. They were college teammates. And they said Lamar was basically on the front office in Baltimore saying, hey, bring that guy in, sign him. So hopefully it works out, but they said he's kind of hard to deal with, but he can play. But he stays hurt too. So, and then there's Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is still on the trading block. They're thinking before the season starts, he'll have another helmet on. And they said the leader on that right now looks like Pittsburgh is definitely interested in bringing him in. I don't know what kind of deal. It'll probably be a 1-year deal, and he'll go back in the market and for a bigger paycheck for his services. But he can land on his feet in Pittsburgh if they make a trade for him, unless Miami cuts him, which I think Miami won't try to cut him because they know he's worth something. So they'll probably hold on to him and see if anybody wants him. But he wants out. He wants out of Miami, so that can be all bad. They try to hold on to him to force somebody to trade for him, when he doesn't want to be there anyway. So to let Jalen Ramsey. And then you have the new quarterback up in New York, the rookie. They said he's playing really well, and they're wondering how that quarterback room is going to go because it looks like he may play. Russell may start, but they can't see Russell playing the whole season as the starter. They think this guy will overtake him, and I like to see what happens with that because Russell didn't go there to sit the bench. I don't care what he says about helping the kid. He didn't go there to sit the bench. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. And then you have the tight end situation in Pittsburgh. You have Darnell Washington. They call him the Mount Washington, the big tight end, who's the second tight end on Pittsburgh's depth chart behind Freiermuth. But then they brought in Parham from San Diego, but he tore his Achilles 2 weeks ago, and he was supposed to be the second guy. So now Darnell Washington is, and they still They're still trying to look at a tight end out of Miami, and also there's some talk that they may try to bring in the guy from Atlanta. So who knows? That could just be talk. You know, these national guys, you never know. And speaking of national stuff, so you got Aaron Rodgers now, the quarterback of Pittsburgh, and you have some people on one side of the fence, some people on the other side. But for all accounts, one AFC general manager, executive, it wasn't a general manager, but they said executive, said he still has the snap in his arm. He was definitely playing better towards the end of the year. He passed for over 4,000 yards and had 28 touchdowns. So that's pretty good for a 41-year-old quarterback. And they don't think he fell off. Everybody's been watching him from around the league, not just Pittsburgh. And I just can't see Pittsburgh bringing him in. They made a mistake with Russell last year. Russell just wasn't a good fit because he didn't want to do things that the OC wanted to do, like pass across the middle and things of that nature. And he went renegade a lot of times with that 50-50 ball. Rodgers is a smarter quarterback. He reads defenses before his balls even snap. He can put you in different things. He's like one of the best at it ever. They say he's like a top 3 quarterback in the history of football, especially with his arm strength and his ability to read defenses. And you don't lose that overnight. And he's not going to have to be Aaron Rodgers of 2010. He's not going to have to do that. And he's not even going to have to be Rodgers that won 2 back-to-back MVPs back in 20 and 21. He just has to be serviceable and get the ball downfield when needed to. Yeah, he may see ghosts a little bit, but if that offensive line, even though they're young, it was a year better and blocks for him, he should be fine. And they'll run the ball a lot. So that'll take a lot of pressure off of him. In New York, the Jets had no running game last year. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. So I look for him to play well. I look for Pittsburgh to surprise a lot of people. I think they'll win 11 to 12 games this year, just based on Rodgers being there and them getting more talent this year. With Caleb Johnson at the tailback, Jalen Warren still there. He's listed as the one. Caleb Johnson. Then you got what's his name, Brianwell, out of Philadelphia. He's going to play a lot. He's not going to be your normal third string running back. He's going to play. So they'll definitely fit him in. So you got a 3-headed monster. And then the defense, you got to deal with T.J. Watt, getting him signed. And they'll sign him. Last time they didn't sign him until a week before this regular season started. So I don't think no one's worried about that. A lot of people are over anxious and saying, oh, they're going to lose him. No, they're not. He wants to be in Pittsburgh. They just got to make it work. Now, one thing where I think Pittsburgh should have moved faster, they should have signed him earlier. So that policy they have in place where they don't like doing deals with anybody prior to them needing a deal, or once the summer starts, they're not trying to talk to you. They're not really trying to deal with you, but they realize they got to deal with him. They just gave Deshaun Elliott, they extended him to safety for Pittsburgh. So him and Minka, they'll be together for a minute. So I see them doing the same thing with T.J. Watt, because if they don't, the reason they're under the 8 ball and TJ wants so much money is because he's listed as one of the top 2, top 3 edge rushers in the league. And the defensive end in Cleveland, Myles Garrett, got his money. And we all know that was a big deal. And he threatened to be traded and all that type of stuff. And you got Michael Parsons, who I think will get his money eventually. And you don't want him to sign before a TJ does. You want to beat them to the punch. So I'd be careful with that, Pittsburgh. And then you got the kid in Arizona. I'm not in Arizona, but the Raiders. They signed him to a nice deal. Crosby to a nice deal last year. So right now they're making the most money. Garrett and Crosby. And then you got Trey Hendricks, Cincinnati, who's he wants a new contract. So you don't want to be the one that's signing last, because once that happens, now you got to beat everybody else's price. So if Trey Hendricks was to sign for $42 million, which takes him higher than Garrett, you think TJ's not going to want 43 or 43 or 42.5? Oh yeah, he's going to want it because he feels he's better. If they sign Myles Garrett to same amount, because I can't see him go nowhere near above, it's going to be around 40, somewhere 40, 43, 44, maybe as high as 45. The time on the contract is what the holdup may be, if there's any holdup. But you don't want them signing before TJ does, because then now Pittsburgh is like, we got to pay this guy what they're paying. He's 30 years old, man. So do you want to pay him that for another 4-year deal? Because you don't know if he's going to play 4 more years. So the guaranteed money, he's going to want the guaranteed money. So you're going to have to give him a lot of money up front, guaranteed, to make it worth his while. So you got to sign him. They should have signed him before. Right after Myles Garrett signed, they should have signed TJ. They should have brought him in and said, let's get this done right now. Let's get it done. Either match what Myles Garrett's getting or right under. I think TJ would have went for it. He would have took 39 over how many, whatever years, because he's looking at, well, okay, just give me the guaranteed money too, and I'm fine with it. But if they start signing before him, that policy that Pittsburgh has, you need to throw that out the window on this one, or you're going to lose them. Now you could trade them, get picks. Pittsburgh usually has a lot of luck on drafting edge rushers. When you think about it, you can go all the way back to Kevin Green and Greg Lloyd. So they've always had great outside linebackers. But and I think they got some in the cupboard right now. So you still got Highsmith. You got the young kid out of Wisconsin. He's in his 3rd year. You got all that going on. So yeah, you can replace him. And then they drafted the one guy out of Ohio State this year, but they said he's nowhere near the player as just T.J. Watt. But he's serviceable, and he can play the run. But he's not a great pass rusher. So you still got an issue there. So they need to get that deal done. As far as baseball goes, the All-Star game's coming up. I'll have the date for you later on. My Pirates and my Royals, I like both teams. They're not doing that great this year. Pittsburgh won a few games since they fired the one manager and brought the new guy in. They won some games. Not enough to substantiate what's going on. They're still really under 5. They're a lot under 500. And Kansas City's struggling too. But they both have really good players. Pirates have Paul Skeen, probably one of the best, if not the best, young pitcher in the league. He throws that smoke. And then you have Bobby Witt Jr. His dad was a hell of a baseball player, and he's really good. He's a really good baseball player. So they got players. Both teams have studs, but they got to build around them. They got to bring in some more from their farm system or make some trades if they're really trying to win. So we'll see what happens with that. But as far as that goes, I'm going to get off of here, and I want y'all to enjoy your day, and we'll be back again. My guy, Heffley, the guru Heffley, O-line guru, he'll be joining me back in July. He's been on doing some other things over the past month and a half that's taken him away from podcasting. But me and him talked recently, and he's definitely coming back, and we'll have our two-man show back starting in July. So that'll be fun. It's always fun sitting down talking sports with him, and I think the audience likes it also. So make sure you go on Big J's Sports Media Group content. Go on my YouTube channel, Big J's Media Content Group, Facebook, X, JMJNENN on X, my Big J National Media Sports Group page on Facebook, and watch it on there and watch all my episodes. And please view, like, and subscribe and pass it on to everybody else. Remember, June 28th, if you want to come up to 6801, you heard Jerry talk about different things that's going to go on. It should be a fun day. Whether the weather, it doesn't matter. I'll be in the press box. I'm glad to hear that. I look forward to seeing you, and it's community based. And also, my website is up and running, so you can go on my website, Big J Media, bigjsportsmedia.com. Go check that out. I'll make sure I download episodes on that too. That's usually the last one I download onto. And also just view and like and subscribe, man. View, like, and subscribe. And I appreciate everybody out here in podcast land and all viewers. Check out this episode. It was a really good one. Thanks, Jerry. And everybody else have a good day.